Right, we're going to talk Christmas number ones. Now, joining me in the studio, someone I have played on the radio so many times, right, including my Nation show this morning. This is Jona Lewie, everybody. Jona Lewie has written one of the great Christmas songs called, Stop the Cavalry.
Stop the Cavalry.
Which was a great anti-war song. It was never written, though, as a Christmas song, was it?
No, it wasn't. It started out as a melody, and then I looked for lyrics, you know, and the last line of one of the verses scanned with, "Can you end the gallantry?" And then I turned gallantry into, "Can you stop the cavalry?" And because I thought of that line, cavalry, I started to think of connotations like the charge of the Light Brigade, because they were part of the cavalry that would charge to their deaths.
Wow.
And funnily enough, that was during the Crimean War. And, of course, the Crimean War is part of Ukraine, or was. So there's a...
History repeating itself.
It's kind of that, or a coincidence or whatever.
OK.
But so from there, I thought of other war scenarios, like the Great War with the trenches, the possibility of nuclear war, you know, Mary Bradley lives in the nuclear-free zone, or whatever I said in the lyric. And, you know, I mentioned Mr. Churchill, which is the Second World War. And really, because of the eternal soldier underneath the Arc de Triomphe, the light that's eternally in flame, was kind of, in a way, what I was thinking of, the eternal soldier from century to century in different war scenarios.
Wow.
Always alive to die from century to century.
And it's lasted 42 years. I mean, there's something about a great song. I mean, we are slightly obsessed, I know, in this country with who has the Christmas number one every year. Other countries don't really care. It was announced today, by the way, there's a band called Lad Baby have had the Christmas number one for 5 consecutive years now.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
In this country?
Yeah, in this country,
wow.
And that was announced today. So well done to them, of course. That's even beaten the Beatles record, which is slightly mad. Not that I think they'll be around as long as the Beatles, clearly, or have quite the record sales. But, yeah, you know, if you look at Wizard and Slade and Elton, some of those classic ones, 1973 was a very good year. You were 1980. A lot of the classic songs we play are quite old, and I guess they've just been around. They're like old friends in many respects, aren't they? What do you think makes, here's a tough question, the perfect Christmas number one?
I don't know if it exists, really, but certainly they get caught up with the season of Christmas for some reason. One could expect maybe some message about snow or reindeers or, you know, Christmas time. I want to be in love on Christmas Day, but I'm lonely.
Yeah.
All the different, like Last Christmas, the Wham singer.
Yeah.
That was a really good one. In lyrically it was, because he was alone and had a bad love experience.
Yeah, he didn't do too bad with that song Last Christmas, did he, old George Michael, let's be honest. I mean, some really iconic songs over the years. Look, you've written a great song, right? So you've written lots of other songs, clearly, as well, but obviously, here we are talking about Stop the Cavalry. It's lasted you and done you well for 42 years. I mean, can you earn a living out of one great song?
I don't know.
That's not a crass question.
It's possible, you know, when you think of really big songs like Bing Crosby's White Christmas, because that's like, 70 years or something that's been going for, and it sold more singles than any other single at the time, you know.
Yeah.
But it's fairly unusual for that sort of thing to happen. But if a single is a very big, successful one, it's going to bring in a significant amount of money. OK. And new streaming platforms, and obviously things have changed since you started making records. It was still on records, cassettes, CDs, right, we're now streaming. Everything is digital. Out of somewhere like Spotify and the other streaming platforms, are your records still getting played? Do you still feel relevant on those platforms, an artist that's been around a long time like yourself? Yeah, it's amazing, really. You know, thank the Lord for streamers.